in the heart of Jerusalem, a city. Since that day in 70 AD, the dream of a third temple has been kept alive in prayers, scriptures, and the hopes of a people. But what if this dream is starting to take a more solid shape? What if the groundwork for this monumental building is no longer a distant hope, but a present-day effort? While most of us are caught up in the day-to-day, dedicated groups in Jerusalem are quietly making preparations for what they believe is a prophetic event. Detailed architectural plans for a third temple aren't just ideas, they're complete. Sacred vessels, crafted from gold and silver, aren't just museum pieces, they're designed for use. And a new generation of priests is being trained for rituals that haven't been seen in almost 2 millennia. What's happening on the ground suggests that a prophetic timeline isn't just being talked about, but is being actively prepared for. In Jerusalem, preparations for a third temple are moving forward, driven by passionate organizations. The first step for any great building is its blueprint, and for the third temple, these plans are no longer just an abstract idea. For decades, groups like the Temple Institute have pored over ancient texts, from the visions of the prophet Ezekiel to the historical records of the Second Temple, to create a comprehensive set of architectural plans. These blueprints are a fascinating blend of old and new. They follow the sacred layout described in Scripture, especially in Ezekiel chapters 40 through 47, which gives a detailed vision of a future temple. The designs include the well-known courts, the holy sanctuary, and the Holy of Holies, but they also bring in modern engineering, planning for materials like steel and glass to be used alongside the classic Jerusalem stone, and even adding features like elevators and modern stairways for accessibility. Stunning 3D animations and detailed models give a real sense of what this structure could look like. These aren't just rough sketches. According to the Temple Institute, the plans are complete. However, they face a massive hurdle: the current status of the Temple Mount, which would prevent any building permit from being issued by the Jerusalem municipality. The plans may be ready, but the path to construction is blocked by immense geopolitical challenges. A temple is just a building without the sacred tools needed for its services. The ancient temple rituals required a very specific set of holy vessels. For centuries, these items were lost to history. But today, they've been recreated. Through careful study of biblical descriptions and historical texts, the Temple Institute has crafted over 60 of the sacred vessels needed for worship. These aren't just museum replicas, they are made according to strict biblical law from authentic materials like pure gold, silver, and copper, intended for active use in a future third temple. If you walk through their workshop exhibit in Jerusalem, you can see the golden altar for incense, the table of showbread, and silver trumpets. You'll also find copper basins for purification and silver cups for libations. Perhaps most impressive are the intricate garments of the priesthood that have been prepared. The golden vestments of the high priest, known as the Kohen Gadol, complete with a breastplate holding 12 precious stones for the tribes of Israel, are ready. Creating these objects solves a major practical issue. Without them, the temple service can't resume. This is a powerful statement that the preparations are real and physical. Each polished vessel and carefully woven garment is another piece of the puzzle falling into place. So who would use these sacred vessels and wear the priestly garments? A temple needs priests. The Bible is clear that only descendants of Aaron from the tribe of Levi can perform the temple services. This lineage, the Kohanim, has been passed down for generations. Today, a new generation is preparing for this role.
This book is your beginner's guide to understanding Scripture. Find peace, build relationships, and discover purpose in today's world. Ready to decode the Bible? Find Bible Decoded available on Amazon now.
If this content blesses you and you'd like to support our mission, you can buy me a coffee or give a super thanks. Every contribution helps us create more content to inspire and uplift others. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos. In schools and programs across Israel, men who trace their lineage to this priestly class are in training. They are learning the complex laws of ritual purity, the specific timing of the services, and how each sacred vessel is used. They're also being taught the ancient musical traditions of the Levitical choir and the proper way to conduct sacrifices as described in the Torah. This isn't just historical reenactment. It's a serious effort to prepare a living priesthood, ready to step into these roles if the time comes. Organizations like the Temple Institute have identified and enlisted eligible Kohanim to create a body of trained individuals. They have also supported a group that calls itself the Sanhedrin, or Jewish High Court. It's important to know this group is not recognized by the Israeli government or mainstream rabbinic authorities and has no official power, but its formation is seen by supporters as a key step in preparing to oversee temple governance. Of all the preparations, none is more mysterious or prophetically watched than the search for the red heifer. According to the Book of Numbers, chapter 19, the ashes of a perfect, unblemished red cow are required for the ritual of purification. Without these ashes, neither the priests nor the temple itself can be purified from certain types of ritual impurity. For 2,000 years, this has been a major roadblock. That may be changing. In September 2022, 5 promising red heifer candidates were found in Texas and flown to Israel, an event that caused a stir in communities that follow prophecy. This was the result of years of effort by organizations that have been running special breeding programs. The requirements are incredibly strict. A heifer must be entirely red with almost no hairs of another color, and it must never have been yoked or used for labor. As the heifers from Texas got older, rabbinic authorities checking on them found that they had developed disqualifying features. In August 2025, it was announced that all of the candidates from Texas were now disqualified. Despite this, the work continues. The Temple Institute has even conducted practice runs of the ceremony, using a disqualified heifer to make sure they are ready if a kosher animal is found. While some radical rhetoric has linked the arrival of the red heifers to Hamas attacks, this has not been substantiated as a primary motive by mainstream credible sources. The search for a perfect red heifer is intense, and for many, its discovery is seen as the final key that could unlock the next chapter in the timeline. Why is the idea of a third temple so important, not just for Judaism, but also for many Christians? The answer is found in ancient prophecies that some believe are lining up with current events. 2 passages are often cited: Daniel 9, verse 27, and 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 4. In the famous 70 weeks prophecy, the prophet Daniel talks about a future leader who will make a covenant or treaty for 7 years. The prophecy says that in the middle of those 7 years, he will put an end to sacrifice and offering. For this to happen, there would need to be a functioning temple in Jerusalem where sacrifices are being made. For this reason, many believe the rebuilding of the third temple is a necessary step for this end times prophecy to unfold. Then, in the New Testament, the Apostle Paul writes about a figure he calls the man of lawlessness. In 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 4, Paul gives a chilling warning. He will oppose and will exalt himself over everything that is called God or is worshipped, so that he sets himself up in God's temple, proclaiming himself to be God. Again, the prophecy seems to require a physical temple in Jerusalem. This figure can't defile a temple that doesn't exist. For centuries, these were abstract ideas, but as people see the architectural plans, the recreated vessels, the training of priests, and the intense search for a red heifer, these ancient words feel more relevant than ever. For many Christians, the preparations in Jerusalem are seen as setting the stage for the final act of biblical prophecy. While these preparations move forward, one massive obstacle stands in the way: the Temple Mount itself. Today, the site where the first and second temples stood is home to the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque, two of the most sacred sites in Islam. The area is under Israeli sovereignty, but it's administered by the Jordanian-led Islamic Waqf, making it one of the most sensitive and volatile places on earth. Any attempt to change this situation is viewed as a major provocation. The idea of clearing the existing structures for a third temple seems politically impossible to most, and likely a trigger for widespread conflict. And yet, despite these huge hurdles, there's a growing push for change. Some Israeli political figures, like National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, have made high-profile visits to the Mount, challenging the rules that forbid Jewish prayer there. Behind the scenes, diplomatic conversations have shifted slightly. While there's no public evidence of direct negotiations to build a temple, the deal of the century proposed by the Trump administration did include language suggesting that people of all faiths should be allowed to pray on the Temple Mount. This sets up a clear conflict: the obstacle of the Temple Mount's complex reality versus the progress of groups pushing to change it. The fact that these discussions are even happening shows that what was once unthinkable is now on the table. The path is full of danger, but the will to move forward is slowly growing. So, what does all this add up to? The preparations for a third temple are very real, meticulously planned, and being pushed forward by dedicated groups. The blueprints are drawn, the sacred vessels are forged, a priesthood is in training, and the search for the final piece of the puzzle, the red heifer, is more intense than ever. These are not just random occurrences. They show a powerful mix of faith, history, and prophetic hope. When you look at them together, they paint a picture of a timeline that many believe is being deliberately set in motion. The events unfolding in Jerusalem align with prophecies that are thousands of years old, suggesting to some that the stage is being set for a dramatic new chapter. While the world focuses on other things, a story of biblical scale is quietly developing in the Holy Land. This is a story that's changing quickly. To stay informed on these developments, make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. We're committed to bringing you the latest updates. We'd love to hear from you. Do you believe these preparations are the fulfillment of prophecy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. It seems the question is shifting from if a third temple could be built to what it would take for it to actually happen. As the pieces continue to be put in place, it leaves us all to wonder, are we the generation that will see these ancient prophecies play out? Are we watching a new and significant chapter of history begin?
Feeling anxious or disconnected? Ready for a deeper faith journey designed just for you? Discover Bible Study for Black Women. This guide nurtures faith, strength, and growth week by week. Overcome fear and connect with God. This empowering journey is waiting. Find Bible Study for Black Women on Amazon today and start building unshakable faith.
If this content blesses you and you'd like to support our mission, you can buy me a coffee or give a super thanks. Every contribution helps us create more content to inspire and uplift others. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos.